adaptive intelligence. You searched for more. You wanted to become the best version of yourself. Your search is over. And the technology finally exists. To go beyond limits. Your time has come. AQ. Adaptive intelligence.
Hey everyone online. I just wanted to do a quick preview of our guest that's coming up. So we'll go ahead and give you a special sneak peek and you'll be able to hear something special. So Rick, let's go ahead and take it away.
Okay, sounds good. Star eyes, that to me is what your eyes are. Soft as stars and April skies are. Tell me someday you'll fulfill their promise of a thrill. Star eyes, flashing eyes in which my hopes rise. Let me show you where my heart lies. Let me prove that it adores that loveliness of yours. All my life I felt content to stargaze at the skies. Now I only want to melt the stardust in your eyes. Star eyes, when if ever will my lips know if it's me for whom those eyes glow. Makes no difference where you are, your eyes still hold my wishing star. Oh, oh star eyes, how lovely you are. looks at the sky. Now I only wanna melt the stardust in your eyes. Star eyes, when if ever will my lips know if it's me for whom those eyes glow. Makes no difference where you are, your eyes still hold my wishing star. Oh, star eyes, how lovely you are.
Awesome, and Rick also said he had a little story for us. So Rick, go ahead and tell your story.
Well, right now, folks, Gabriel and I are just goofing around, trying to just figure out the sound, figure out things. And one time I was goofing around in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, in the East Village, and I had this recording equipment, and I set up all this equipment, and I called some musicians in the neighborhood, That one guy lived on Avenue C, another guy was on, 8th Avenue. And I'm like, hey, you guys, could you just, walk over and, tomorrow or something, I just want to check out the sound in this. I set everything up. I just want to see if it works. I just want to check out the sound. Could you guys stop over? One of the guys was in a movie. He was playing the role of a street musician in a movie with Walter Matthau called I'm Not Rappaport. It's an amazing movie if you ever get to see this movie. I finally saw it, I don't know, about a year ago when someone told me, because I never knew the movie he was in. He had passed away eventually, and I never found out what the movie was anyway. But anyway, here's what he did. He said, man, I'm supposed to be in this movie, but if it rains, they're going to pay me, and then I can come over and record with you, and they're going to have to pay me anyway because I have to be on call. So the next day, and he said, it looks like it might rain, so I'm waiting to see if it's going to rain or be overcast. He calls and says, hey, man, they're paying me anyway. I'll come over to your house. So he comes over. He's a drummer. I got the bass player. I got the trumpet. Now, we set everything up, and we just do a check, and we're like, okay, let's try this one. I picked up a Thelonious Monk song off the floor. The chart was on the floor. Let's play this. Let's play that. We're just playing stuff. 3 weeks later, that drummer who was in the movie calls me up, and he owed me $20. He always owed me money, and I always made sure that I stayed ahead of him, because if he ever got paid up, then he'd borrow more money. So I always made sure he was never caught up, Hey, man, I got you $20. I said, great, because I want you to hear what we did that day, So he said, all right, I'll be right over. Now, by the time he came over, it was only $10. But that was good because, again, he still owed me $10, you know what I mean? Which is always a good thing. He can't borrow anything because he already owes me. So that's fine, no biggie. Get the $10, sits down, listens to the music, and he's really enjoying the music. Oh, man, whoa, we sounded good on, man. And so after I said, okay, so what do you think? He says, what do I think about what? I said, what do you think? Should we do the record? Does the sound and everything sound okay? He said, what are you talking about, man? That is the record. I said, what do you mean? That's the record. So in other words, that sound check was my first CD was a sound check with me and 4 guys in my neighborhood goofing around like me and you are now. So that was the funny story. And so, no, let me tell you something. I told him, I said, listen, man, I'm paying you with the gigs we're going to get. Are you sure? Yo, man, you're going to get gigs with it. Don't worry. I said, it's just a sound check. You're going to get gigs. Don't worry. When people hear it, they're going to. And I took his word for it. And we ended up playing. I got a gig at the Blue Note. I got a gig at, Birdland around. Then we started playing in places like Brazil and Hong Kong. I just started all over the world. So that CD, it's called Take It or Leave It, got gigs all over the world. And I called the same guys in my neighborhood. because I promised them. I said, because they came over to mess around. If we get any gigs, maybe Rick will get a gig and call me. Then we'll get, for the session. They played all over the world with the sound check, and the record did so well that the record label for my second CD, it was a small independent label. They said, "Man, you can use whoever you want on this record, because this other record, you can use any musician you want." So I used like really big name musicians on my next record. I used the drummer from Miles Davis, and I used the bass player from Bill Evans, who was a great jazz pianist. Anyone who knows jazz, everyone knows jazz knows Bill Evans. So I used these. I used also the saxophone player who played with Chick Corea and also Miles Davis. Anyway, so those guys, because of that sound check, those guys were on my next record, which brought me international acclaim. So I'm just saying, I mean, I got more out of a goofy little thing like we're doing. So I just thought people would be interested to know that you never know what's going to happen when you're just messing around like me and Gabriel are doing right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully this sound check will also help you go viral. Now, Rick, before we get into what you're going to be presenting for next week,
right?
Maybe you want to do one more for the road afterwards, or just say a few last words and then play a little bit more, and then we'll catch you next week. By the way, everybody who's watching live right now, or who sees this later on, if you click in the link in the description, there will be a link. If you click that link and you click on Thinking Thursdays as the event, you can join us for next week. So you can actually be in here, like Everett is down here, if you see that little purple guy right there. You can be in here with us, and you can also talk to Rick, share questions, whatever you want. You can be a part of the actual talk, the interview. So I'll take it back to Rick, and I thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Take it away, Rick.
Yeah, so what Gabriel is saying could be fun. You guys can like ask me questions. You could ask me anything, and could be like ask me anything kind of thing. Maybe we can talk about stuff that normally they don't have on the internet or whatever, that you're not allowed to see. Could be like a Rumble kind of a, but even Rumble just got censored, right, in Brazil. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Rumble, this is what I heard. Now you guys can fact check me because I don't know for sure, but I heard that they censored Rumble in the country of Brazil.
Wow, get out of here.
So we might say something that not be, but it's weird because I sing in Portuguese, and I brought that band that goofed around with me in the studio to Brazil, and my third CD was called Live in Brazil.
Wow.
If you go on Amazon and you type in Rick Delarada Live in Brazil, you will see that drummer that I'm talking about and the bass player who was also at my house that day in a caricature, because a famous artist came to the concert in Brazil and drew us. And he was so famous that they used his drawing for the cover of the CD.
Wow, that's impressive.
So that's some crazy shit, yeah. I mean, I think we might be better off just goofing around than being serious, for all I know. I mean, I had more luck goofing around that day than I've ever had being serious.
Yeah, well, let's goof around then.
I don't know. We're goofing around today. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, lightning doesn't always strike twice, but we'll see.
Sometimes it does.
All right, so I'm
Sometimes it does.
What?
Sometimes
it
it does.
It could. It may have struck already.
Might have.
You may have already been hit by a second strike of lightning. We'll let the audience decide. So I'm just going to goof around and pick another song out here. This is called The Very Thought of You. And I'm just playing this because a volunteer had recommended it for a podcast I did yesterday. And I was once on I was in a play. And too bad that we don't have the sound it'll probably be too echoey for you to use. But I was in a play once, and I was playing the role of a kind of a goofy guy, a goofy scientist. So I had this role as a goofy scientist, but the play was called Lab Rats, and there was 3 goofy scientists, and I was one of them. So I had a lead role in this play, and they could not find a person to come in and sing this song. They could not find an actor to sing it. And the reason is, when you hear me sing it, it's a kind of more of a jazz song than it is a cabaret show song. So most actors, they take voice lessons, and then they can sing that big, Hello Dolly type of voice. They were striking out right and left, and I knew that you can't do that. You can't just ask somebody to sing a song like this one, a jazz standard. So I'm in my role, and I'm not telling anybody that I can sing that song. Nobody. And because I'm going to lose my lead role if they find out I can sing that song. I'm going to get screwed out of being a lab rat. And I was trying to get some acting creds. So I'm on the way to a concert, and I get a phone call, and it was a phone call. It was that call that, you know what I mean? Like that I was like, oh shit, the jig is up, you know? Because I looked, oh no, I'm in trouble. And they said, Rick, like you didn't tell us that you were this famous jazz, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, you know, I have why would I tell you? You know what I mean? They said, we understand, we know, but here's the problem, Rick. 3 people are going to audition tomorrow for that role, and now it's close to the showtime, by the way. They can't find, and I knew they couldn't find anybody, because I knew what they didn't know, and that is that anybody can't just sing the song. You know what I mean? Anybody with voice lessons. So they said, listen, if you could just if they strike out, these 3 guys bomb, and I knew they were going to bomb. They said, if these 3 guys bomb, could you just do this role? We'll pay you the same money as the lead part. We'll pay you the lead part to do this because we don't have anybody. So I kind of took a hit for the team, and I played the guy that could pick up all the girls. I played the complete opposite. And the woman who put on the show was so like happy because or impressed or whatever that I could go from one to the other, that she's like my contact in the acting world. Wow. She calls me for acting. And I have an acting resume. It's all from stuff from that producer calling me for it because I did a solid on that day. So it's weird, right? But this is a song. It's called "The Very Thought of You."
A lot of lightning, man.
Yeah, more lightning is striking, folks. The very thought of you and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king and foolish though it may seem to me, you're everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you. You'll never know how slow the moments go till I can be near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes in stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love. Idea of you, the longing here for you. how slow the moments go till I can be near to you. I see your face in every flower, your eyes and stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, my love.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rick. So again, to everybody else, it's an open invitation. Come join us next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you so much, everyone.